You guys, I'm 65% serious. In this lesson, we're going to talk about 6 beats. They will not let you into NYU unless you can play. In all honesty, the backstory for this was, didn't know what I was going to record a lesson about, was fiddling around with some devices. Did a stack one yesterday. So I decided to make lots of stacks and put a tambourine on the snare drum. And I was inspired. As well, I probably had Brandon Toe's excellent lesson about 10 newish drum beats you need to know. So I decided to give you some of my own. Here are 6 beats with stacks, with tambourine on the snare drum mostly. They won't let you into NYU unless you can play. Stay tuned. And guys, you know the drill. If you like these beats, if you like any of them, you don't have to transcribe them, they'll be transcribed for you. If you want to learn them by ear, that's probably the best. And I show you step by step how to play them, but transcription. Below the player, click the link, enter your email in on the next page. Okay, on to our first beat. Everybody's playing quintuplets these days. Let's find out how we can use the stack to make them even hipper. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 5 thing. 4, 5. Break down how we play that. We're assuming you're starting with a slightly more advanced level of playing if you're watching this. Very common 5 beat is the... Right, just quintuplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're going to do the hip thing all the kids are doing, where you play a note on the stack immediately after the snare. So let's hear what that'll sound like. 4, 5. Finally, we go to this halftime thing with the right hand or the lead hand, which sounds like this. 4, 5. And you can throw in a left, right, left on the high tom, of course, with some kind of dead coated head. Let me show you that. 4, 5. If you want extra credit on that NYU audition, you better know how to transition to 4. 4, 5. And in fact, that beat I just did will come back a little later in the lesson. Okay, for our next beat, we're going to talk about something I like to call the catranata thing, which is a species of house music with a quarter note bass drum thing and a hi-hat. You'll know it when you hear it. Let's do this. Okay, let me play the catranata thing. I think you youngsters will recognize it right away. 2, 3, 4. For those of you who don't want to lead with the weak hand, you can also just put the stack in a place where you can play the hats with the strong hand. I'll just cross my hands for a second. So that one's pretty simple. Let me just slow it down for you a little bit. The very basic is just 3, 4. 4. And if you listen to catranata's beats, there are a lot of these. So I just chose a pattern that's catranata-like, sort of arbitrarily, which is just 3, 4. So again, you put those together, 3, 4. The last thing is, if you want, you can do this idiomatic fill, which just sounds like this. 2, 3. That's it. You can throw that in anywhere. So 2, 3. And that's the catranata beat. For our third beat you need to know to get into NYU, it probably comes from Chris Dave. My fellow YouTuber Zach Grooves has probably done more than anyone on earth to popularize it. Hence, he gets to name it the coaxer backbeat. So the simplest version of the coaxer backbeat is just the 4 version of that 5 thing we were doing. So it just sounds like 3, 4. That's your standard Dilla thing, except with a echo shot on the stack, which is one of the hot things. Either you're using it as a substitute for the snare drum rim shot backbeat, or you're using it as an echo. Without the echo, it would just sound like this. I'll take the tambourine off the snare so you can hear it even more clearly. 3, 4. You can use the clean snare drum too and hit the stack as the echo. That sounds great too. 3, 4. And that's the When's She Coming Back beat. But it doesn't end there, because if you add subdivisions, you can sextuplify the coaxer backbeat. I don't have any crazy sax overdubs for you, but I will show you that. Let's do it. So the sixolated When's She Coming Back beat, again, comes from Chris Dave via the Zeitgeist via Zach Grooves. And it's just the When's She Coming Back beat with a little extra subdivision on the snare. 3, 4. Play that with a clean snare drum. 3, 4. By the way, none of this is supposed to be verbatim what any other drummer has played. I'm just giving you my versions of this stuff. Anyway, that's the sixolated When's She Coming Back beat. Okay, the next one is actually one Brandon Toes did cover in the 10 newish drum beats you need to know thing. But this is Arthur Natick's beat from Tigran Hamasyan's tune, The Grid, which I think has kind of become a modern classic. Anyway, I do a stack version of it. So the Grid beat goes like this. 3, 4. If we take the hand off the stack and just play it on the hats, of course it's this. 3, 4. Oh, just play that, right? Let me slow it down. Let me keep a reference on the hats so you can hear where the 1 is. Again, we're not assuming you're a complete beginner coming into this because you're trying to get into NYU. Oh. Tambourine on the rack tom. Tambourine on the rack tom. All right. 3, 4. Okay, got it. That's the beat in 4. So now we're making creative use of the stack. Let's see what that sounds like again. 3, 4. And that's the Grid beat. Oh, and I bet you want to see the last beat, don't you? Well, not so fast, son. Not so fast, killer. First, I need to tell you about the transcription. But it's good, it's win-win, because I get to tell you, you get to receive this information, and then you don't need to transcribe stuff. All you need to do is click below the player, enter your email in on the next page. I feel like I'm starting to mash up words Joe Biden style. Anyway, click the link below the player, get that transcription, it's free. On to the last beat. This is one of my favorites of all time. I like to call it the Nerd Mountain. For those of you not familiar with Nate Wood's iconic Nerd Mountain beat, pause this right now and go watch it. I'll even link to it up above. It's one of the most iconic modern jazz fusion beats. It's in 6, and it goes like this. 3, 4. So let's show you the hipsterized version using the stack echo. It actually sounds really good. 3, 4. Okay, let's play that with a clean snare drum, and we'll play it a little slower. 3, 4. Really quickly, just sticking with the lead hand all on the hats. 3, 4. There you have it. That's the Nerd Mountain beat. And that's truly how you get the gig. So dudes, if you enjoyed that and you stayed this long, you're hearing another one of my favorite beats, which is the Dilla. Boom, boom. Behind you, the subtle sounds of J Dilla, or royalty-free J Dilla, as they call it on YouTube. Anyway, if you enjoyed this one, please consider subscribing and hit that bell. You know, the cliche YouTube stuff, but it works. If you like this lesson, share it with somebody. We'll come back real soon in another lesson of the week. See you.